What's going on, everyone? So, Dalton Knecht. He kind of feels like it's an inevitability that he's getting moved at some point. I mean, the Lakers already traded him. It's kind of the odd man out. It's like, who is he playing over really for, this Lakers team? Lakers were dead last in bench scoring, and Dalton Knecht is a guy that could really fix that, really solve that. But like if Rui goes to the bench and you have like Jake LaRavia and Rui Hachimura, talk about, two now 6'8" wings that can both self-create, both score, both a little more proven than Dalton Knecht. Those are probably the two guys that you're leaning on to be more offensive production off the bench and kind of helping you. If both guys can give you, 12, 13 points each, something like that. Now you got like 26 to 30 points on any given night. So it's like, again, does Dalton Knecht? Is he somebody that's going to get a ton of playing time? Maybe you could argue. So like, let's say the starting five is like Luka, Austin Reeves, Marcus Smart, LeBron James, and DeAndre Ayton, right? In idea would be, or in concept would be, Gabe Vincent with a, probably Jared Vanderbilt, Jake LaRavia, Rui Hachimura, and Jackson Hayes, right? Like that would kind of be the backup bench five. Now, I don't hate the idea of maybe playing Knecht over a Gabe Vincent, right? Especially with Marcus Smart, you have that, and then Jared Vanderbilt. Like, but we'll see. Like the back end of the season, Gabe Vincent shot 38% from 3-point range. So if he can kind of give you that production, then I'd probably rather go with Gabe Vincent because he would just give you, he's shorter and smaller, obviously, than Dalton Knecht, but he'd give you better two-way play, right? He could defend, the point guard position or the guard position, period. And also, if he can give you 38%, plus his experience and things like that for a team that's trying to win right now, where Dalton Knecht, I've talked about even last year and got him. I think his best spot is probably the 2, right? To where he can kind of, his advantages now become real advantages, his size, his length, his athleticism, things like that, where he's kind of the similar height to most small forwards. So where, most 2 guards are, 6'5", 6'6" at that, where Dalton Knecht being, 6'7", right? He's a guy that can use his athleticism, shoot over the top better, things like that. But he's also a guy that, obviously myself, many of you, we were excited to see Dalton Knecht get drafted by the Lakers. It was somebody that, he was as high as like a top 5 pick on many big boards, right? And then ends up dropping all the way to 17th. That was a huge steal for the Lakers. And I still think has the potential to be. And he didn't just, knock the door. He tore the door down, right? Just came in like gangbusters, like boom, and he's giving it nearly 40 one night, 25 another night. And the guy just, when he's on, right? We've seen it, right? He gets hot, and he's one of those guys that like we've seen at every level, right? Will be like 0-4, and then he finishes the game and he's like 6-10, and you're like, he just made 6 straight threes. Like that's crazy, right? Like he just goes off. He can score in bunches. And you saw teams when he was on the court, even when he was having his struggles, and he had like a long stretch of struggles, which it's hard to get, like when you're in rhythm and you're on fire, right? You get more opportunities, you get more minutes, you get more shot attempts, right? Because they want to feed the hot hand, so on and so forth. But then you start to cool off, and now you get fewer attempts, you get fewer minutes, you get fewer opportunities. So it makes it harder to dig yourself out of that hole, because it's like, you're not getting the 8, 9, 10 field goal attempts that you were getting while you were hot. Now you're getting, 3 to 5. You're getting like half, if that, right? So unless you really start to knock them down, it just takes over the course of games. Great example was LeBron James at one point missed like 21 straight threes. And it's like, why is this guy shooting 9 threes a game? And because he was shooting himself out of a slump. But it's LeBron James, and he has that luxury, and he can do that, right? Like you've seen guys like Steph, guys like that, right? Like even the best shooters have bad stretches, but they usually get the field goal attempts to shoot themselves out of a stretch. Where a guy like Dalton Knecht wasn't really able to shoot himself out of the stretch because it took a while, and then he gets traded, and that was it. I mean, you just saw the confidence and everything just gets just drained from him. It's unfortunate because then he has to come back and it's just this awkward spot and he's just not the same. And it's tough. So then it's like, okay, chalk it up, right? Move into the next season. Right? How do you stick around? You become undeniable, right? Like you just go out and ball. So it was like there was these expectations going into Summer League, right? Like you saw Max Christie take strides from year 1 to year 2, right? Like you see Bronny James, year 1 to year 2. I mean, Bronny James was the best player. He was great, right? And you were looking at Dalton Knecht to kind of, okay, here it is. And he was terrible, like unplayably bad. And my problem wasn't the lack of scoring or poor shooting. And I talked about this during Summer League. Right? Like he could have went 0 of 50. I don't care. We know he can score the basketball. My issue wasn't that he was poorly, offensively. It was the defensive side of the ball. He was still abysmal. I mean, they were switch hunting him in Summer League, right? Like, what do you think is going to happen during the regular season when he's on the basketball court? He didn't have to score a single point to me in Summer League. I could care less if he scores the basketball in Summer League. My concern was, could he generate stops? Could he stay in front of guys? Because that's what got him out of the rotation, and that's what ended up leading to him getting traded. Because it was like, yes, he's a very good offensive player, but we need some defense. We need some two-way guys. Right? We have enough one-dimensional offensive guys or one-dimensional defensive guys. Dalton Knecht, in theory, is, everything and more of what this Lakers team needs. Again, a guy 6'7" in size, hyper athletic, can self-create, score the basketball, shoot over the top, be a legit 3-level scorer. And it's just like, if he can just be not even great or elite defensively, he can just be good defensively, right? Like, he could solve so much for this Lakers team because he has all that. Now, look, JJ Redick came to his defense and said, hey, I just think he was tired in Summer League. He was overworking himself. And now that might sound like an excuse. However, right before Summer League, Dalton Knecht was doing the interviews and he said himself, remember we even talked about it, did a video on it, everything, that he was doing kind of these 2-3 a days where he'd go at 4 a.m., go shoot, get reps, hoop, take a break, come back, do it. So he was working himself raw. And that's what JJ Redick, confirmed and was talking about that. Dude, this guy was in the gym for 20 hours a day, every day, doing these 3-a-day training sessions and all this crazy stuff to really improve himself, which I love to see. I love to hear. I loved hearing it when he was talking about it. I was super stoked to hear him talk about that. I was like, here we go. Maybe he can start getting something. So maybe that's what it was. Right? I'm willing and hoping to give him the benefit of the doubt, and that's what it was. Right? But again, my concern isn't the offensive side of things. It's the defensive side of things. Right? Now, look, if he has tired legs and he's gassed, it makes it harder to stay in front of guys, right? So again, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt in that regard. But if he can't show the ability to defend and stay in front of guys, he's gone. They're gonna end up trading him, and he's probably not gonna get much playing time. He'll still probably get spots here and there, and the nights where he has the hot hand, he'll probably get the run and whatnot. JJ Redick will probably reward him with that. But unless he is shooting the absolute lights out, he's probably not going to get to play. And this is part of the problem, though, I've talked about, right? Dalton Knecht is more than just a catch and shoot 3-point shooter. He is. He's more than just a guy that, stands in the corner all game shooting threes. But on this Lakers team, at least for the next few years, maybe even the long haul, he's probably not going to be more than that because you have Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, and LeBron James, and very likely we'll have Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves for the long term. If Dalton, and look, I've talked about this before, if Dalton Knecht can actually be and show the signs defensively, right, then now I think there's an argument to get off of Austin Reeves and have Dalton Knecht slot in at the 2. If he can show the defense, right, because he's more athletic, he can shoot the lights out. He is, again, on paper at least, from what we've seen, a better complementary player alongside Luka Doncic. He'd also get more opportunities to self-create because now he'd be, kind of the second, third, fourth option, whatever, right? Let's say DeAndre Ayton's the second option. It's like the Luka Ayton game, and then have Dalton Knecht. He's just a better, off-ball shooter, things like that. He's a better natural fit. He's not the playmaker and stuff that Austin Reeves is, but you could probably find that in a bench role or whatever, right? So there is a version of Dalton Knecht that could be the guy that makes the most sense. Again, guy that can slot in at the 2, slot in at the 3, shoot the ball, right? Shoot the lights out of the ball. Imagine having and this was something that people compared him to, imagine having a Klay Thompson type of player, not like, today's Klay Thompson, but maybe not like all-time great Klay Thompson, but I'm talking just like that 3-and-D guard that can defend multiple positions, play multiple, that was the goal, that was the dream, that was the vision. It's man, Dalton Knecht already is, elite offensively when he's shooting and scoring the basketball. He'll build more confidence and he'll get more consistent over the years, or at least that was the idea before he got traded. But it was if he can just be good defensively, he has the athleticism, he has all the things you want and slot alongside Luka Doncic. Imagine having a Luka Doncic, Dalton Knecht, say a Dude Theroux actually evolves in a legit two-way guy. Now you have a Dude Theroux. That athleticism, shooting, defense, switchability, having that, a 6'7" Dalton Knecht and a 6'7", 6'8", a Dude Theroux, 7-foot wingspan, right? Hyper athletic, 41-inch vertical. You have those two guys slotted in with the DeAndre Ayton. Go get another versatile 3-and-D wing. You could be talking multiple championships at that point, right? You'd have everything you need, the shooting, the defense, the score, having a guy in Dalton Knecht who can self-create and do all this, the vision's there. It's just, will that ever come to fruition? It's tough unless he really starts to take strides, particularly on the defensive side. We'll see come training camp, but again, my concern in training camp is going to be man, he's shooting the lights out. He's great, man. He's really standing out. And all of the news is kind of how good he looks and whatnot and kind of build up his confidence. Sure. But is that he's looking good offensively or is he looking good defensively? Is he holding his own on the defensive side of things? Because, again, Dalton Knecht, this is a guy that could defend anyone from Luka to LeBron to, Jake LaRavia to Rui Hachimura, because he's got the size, the length, and the athleticism, right? I'm not saying he has to be Jared Vanderbilt level defensively, but if he can be really good defensively, or maybe, Jake LaRavia, maybe he evolves into a legit two-way wing, right? And now you have your starting 5 of the future that can go win multiple championships, and a Luka Doncic, Dalton Knecht, Jake LaRavia, a Dude Theroux, and a DeAndre Ayton. It's there. You have the components. It's just, can those players kind of put it together is the question. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.